from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studio in Boston, Massachusetts, and the Gurkha Cigar Studio in beautiful British Columbia. Welcome to the Smokin Tabacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Mitchell Santaga.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. I'm Matt Tobacco from SmokinTobacco.com, and I'm actually going to step out because I have several things in the background that I need to fix with this show. That for one reason or another, I don't know what's going on here, but there's several issues here. I'm sorry, but Mitchell's actually going to take over the show for in the meantime while I kind of sort some things out here. So Mitchell, take it away.
Yes, I'm Mitchell, and
Yeah,
just
that
went
did
to
not
another
go. Yeah,
camera.
that did not go how I wanted it to go.
I'm at-
Unfortunately, Let me tell you something. This show is a hot mess today. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not loving it, but we're all over the place. There's missing. Nicole's laptop got severely messed up during the trade show, and it never got fixed. And now the cameras are all messed up, and man, it's been a day. I've been at the hospital. My knee's all banged up. It's been a hot mess of a day. So I'm trying to deal with this as it comes. Nope, that's not what I wanted either. Oh, great. Here we go. There we go. Just Mitchell. Mitchell, just here you go. Let me try and fix some things in the background.
We might as well throw our guest on as well, but
Yeah, I'm gonna bring him on here. So we got Joe Grow from Quality Importers that's gonna be with us tonight, and I'm gonna let him and Mitchell get this thing started.
yeah,
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey Joe.
The show must go on. The show must go on.
It's okay. Trust me, I've been around my share of technical difficulties, so I know what happens. It's all good. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. How's looks like you're outside today. It looks like a beautiful day. Where are you at? What's the weather
So
like?
I'm at my local B&M. It's Cigar Bundles in Miami. So it's a beautiful day outside. I'm actually smoking on the patio. So we got a nice little crowd going out here, but it's a beautiful shop. It's about 90 some degrees, so it's not too bad. What's the temperature up there? Looks nice up there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's about 89, 90 as well here. Well, 30% humidity. It's perfect smoking conditions. It's been we used to get weather kind of closer to like 80s to 85, and I don't know. This summer's been like one of the hottest summers that we've had. It's great.
Well, you guys have also been on fire, like literally and figuratively. So
I was gonna say we've also broken multiple fire records in the West Coast and the East side of Canada. I'm sure, what was it, a couple months ago with those post-apocalyptic videos coming in from New York. It's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, for once we could actually get away with saying blame Canada.
No, it's true. Not too much you can blame us for besides that and maple syrup, I guess. But
it brings me back to my Canadian bacon days. But anyway. So what are you smoking tonight, Mitchell?
Yeah, I'm smoking the brand new Charter Oak. Let's see if it was.
There you go.
Charter Oak Agnatero. This is a brand new release by Foundation. It's the Connecticut shaved version. And our cigars today are brought to you by Two Guys Cigars. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Head over there and go check out. I'm pretty sure they're carrying Foundation, but I don't think this is out on the market yet. But
what cigar was that again, Mitchell?
The Charter Oak Pagnataro.
Oh yeah, they carry Charter Oak. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
that's the number 2. That's the number 2guyscigars.com.
Yeah, the number 2 guys.
And they carry almost everything that Nick has, so that's definitely a safe bet to go.
Yeah, it's delicious so far. I started a little bit. I'm about an inch and a half in, and really, really good. I know the price point is a little higher than the regular Charter Oak line, but really good offering. What are you smoking tonight, Joe?
I'm smoking one of my staples. So this is Laranja by Espinosa. So that's one of just my go-to sticks. I just love it. I get that citrus note rocking. So I'm in the tour. I'm about halfway through. I know we're running a little bit late, so I lit up a little early, but it is just it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite cigars that Hector's ever blended.
Yeah, I have to agree. I've said it multiple times on the show. The Laranja Caixa is probably one of, if not my favorite vitolas in that, and definitely a top of the line cigar from Espinosa. If you haven't tried it, you have to. It's insane.
100%.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna be able to jump back in here now. Sorry, I just needed a few moments. I just have to rearrange the cameras now. Unfortunately.
It's all
And
good,
as
brother.
always, we like to cut and light our cigars. The Cigar Blondie.
Actually, no, we don't. We don't actually. We don't
Oh,
do that
my bad.
anymore. No, it's all
All
good.
right.
No, it's all
Well,
good.
then I'm gonna be in trouble then if we guys don't, if we don't like cutting and lighting cigars.
Well, we do. We just we don't do it
I-
with them anymore. That's all.
I cut and light my cigar with this today. I don't. Do you guys make? I'm pretty sure this is made by you guys. Right?
We made that. That's we made that one for Mickey. So
I feel like pretty much everything you
I-
see from a brand now with a brand's name on it is made by
I
quality
actually
importers.
did cut with this, and shout out to All Saints Cigars, Mickey Pegg. There you go.
So funny thing is, Mickey's from my hometown. So, and I didn't actually know him really until I got into the cigar industry. It's, I didn't run into him at his shop. I know he was, he was with CEO and then he was out of the industry for a little bit. And that was right when I was coming in. So shout out to the Wooden Indian, one of my local stops back at home. So yeah, we're from the same region. There's actually a small epicenter of cigar people that came out of Delaware County.
And look at that cut. That is clean. The wrapper did not break at all. Nice, even cut. Doesn't go too low because it's perfect.
It is perfect.
It stops me from making mistakes. Do you guys make... So I have a little Zippo thing here. Do you guys make a Zippo insert at all?
We don't make the Zippo insert. We've carried and distributed one in the past. But that's not one that we directly make.
Okay.
It's a great little item though. Yeah, trust me, I have a few of myself. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, as I'm getting myself kind of back on track here with the show. Joe, it's funny. I was gonna say I was looking at a lot of the stuff we brought home from the trade show, and there was several pieces, and I don't have them all. I don't have them with me, and I don't remember them all off the top of my head. But I remember there was a lot of cutters and lighters and all that other stuff that people had branded wise, and I'm like, oh, these are cool. And then after a while, I started to notice they all said either Xikar or they said Palio on them, and I'm like, you went from the last time you were on this show was I think just under 2 years ago? I think you were here last. Last time you were on the show, you were a representative of Drew Estate, okay? And
correct.
It was
right before the first Freestyle Live.
Yes, which was this Undercrown 10, and I grabbed this because I remembered, obviously a little tie into your Drew Estate days. But last time we were on the show, we were just starting the first Freestyle Live ever, which became Undercrown 10, which went on, as you know, to become our Cigar of the Year in 21. Sorry, I had to think about that for a minute. And so I grabbed that as a little homage to you. You can get these at the number2guyscigars.com, by the way. But yeah, I remember going around, and I just remember getting stuff from people, and I got home and I finally shook it all out, and I'm looking at it, and I think I have an All Saints lighter that says Palio on it. I think I have a Ferriotego lighter that I think you guys made. I could be wrong. There was more than that, I know. I'm just trying to remember off the ones I know off the top of my head. And I just remember going wow, Joe went from being big time at Big Time Drew Estate to being kind of more of a quieter guy in the background, but still all over the industry. You guys make stuff for everybody.
Well, that's kind of the nature of quality importers, right? It's, people for the longest time didn't know who we were. We've been around now 23 years. And up until really the Xikar acquisition in 2018, that's how our owner, Mike Giordano, wanted to operate. He wanted to just be, build up a slow empire, start acquiring brands, building onto his company over time. And then, with Xikar being the brand that it is, was a very large and dramatic announcement in 2018. And that's when, QI stepped into the limelight and really started positioning ourselves as the industry leader. We did it from the background, and now we're taking our forefront, into the industry. And what you're seeing, are partnerships with all of the manufacturers and all the work that we do, either, through Swag Bunker, where we do our in-house customization, or through any of the we can create anything. We create all these different swag items, ashtrays, cutters, lighters, whatever any stores, manufacturers, whatever they need, we can produce it. And that's kind of the cool thing to start seeing. Like you said, you guys are getting it at the trade show. You're seeing it in those booths. We're everywhere. We're like the octopus. We just touch everything.
Now,
Yeah. Go ahead, Mitchell.
I had
I'll
a
let you
quick
go.
question actually, because you mentioned Swag Bunker, and it's something that is I don't know if it's relatively new, but it's been talked about a lot. Is there minimum orders for swag bunkers? Like, say there's like a smaller company and they just wanted for a staff thing, and they only got like maybe 5 to 10 staff. Can they go in and put in a swag bunker order, or is it like you're only looking for pretty volume level orders with that?
No, see, that's the cool thing about Swag Bunker is we have very, very small minimum orders on on most of our items. Realistically, you're talking we can do runs of 5s to 10s. We can do one of ones. If you guys saw when Abe dropped the NFT Anarchy release,
Yeah.
Yes.
those all are all one of one pieces. Yes, that's not necessarily like efficient for us, but is it something we can do 100%? And that allows us to get into these really cool and unique projects. And it could be for anybody, like I said, a retail shop that just, hey, I have some stuff that I want to give to my members or my employees. It can be a manufacturer who wants to do it for a one-off event, or they want to do something for their swag for an entire quarter of the entire year. We can scale to whatever they need. And that's one of the really unique things about QI.
Joe, it was funny because it wasn't until I think it was TPE this year when I really first kind of met up with you since, your transition to QI. And I went to the booth, and it was the first time I'd really, gone through everything that you guys have. And, we were talking about the cutters and the lighters, and we were looking at the Xikar. Is it the XI1s? Like the classic Xikar?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
classic, then, yeah.
And I remember looking at them, and I know you guys had them in like all these like different designs and shit. And I'm like, man, this is so cool. And it was funny because you had said to me like, yeah, like we can just print those off, like, and just make them. And I didn't realize like the simplicity of it. And you were just like, yeah, like we can like print those off, and we can literally make any design we want, and like we can put anything on any cutter. And I was like, wow, that's pretty nifty to be able to do. Because I know you guys have made some special like one-offs for people in the industry and shit like that. Like I think you made like a cigar coupe cutter or something like that. You made the thing for Bear, with Chevy Chase on it. So no, but
he loves it.
That's it. But that's a great powerful thing to have that you can just kind of like push out a design on a product and get it to someone, versus like a cigar maker where unless you're using cigars that are already made and you kind of just make a band for it, which even then most manufacturers don't just print their own bands, they still gotta like order those bands. Like you could go into the office and just be like, we need to make a cutter for so and so, and like be done with it today, and you have that ability, which is awesome. Total efficiency.
Well, it's unique, right? And the way we view it is it's allowing a brand to come to life, because yes, you make the cigar. Our manufacturer partners, they make a cigar, and they they put the effort into it. But a guy just doesn't take a picture. We all know this because we're all Instagram whores. We want to take our picture, our perfect shot, right? We want to get our cigar with a matching lighter and a matching cutter. We want to make it look right, the colors to be right. That's where we come in, and it's like, okay, how do you take that experience and bring it to the next level? And that's where the customization comes in, and it works the same with our retail partners. Look, you've gone all this time to build your store. You want to keep building out your business. How do you expand into that? I mean, how many shops do you go into that have a branded travel humidor, a branded lighter that they want to just go in, so that when their customers are walking around, on the golf course or anything else, it allows that to be shown off. And hey, where did you get your cigars from? Oh, right here. The name's right there on the travel humidor, so you know exactly where to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things first of all, I want to bring this up now, so that way as people watch the show, I guess they can kind of get in on this. But Joe, we talked about before the show, not to like just abruptly get to this, but I want to make sure everyone has time during the show and then after. But we are hosting a giveaway tonight, courtesy of our friends at Quality Importers. That's right, especially our very good friend Joe Grow, who's always been so good to Smokin Tabacco. I just want to say I really appreciate that. Joe is, you talk about QI being a one-of-a-kind company. Joe Grow is a one-of-a-kind individual. And I really mean that. And this goes back to the DE days and just top notch. So thank you, Joe, for being such a great dude all the time. But we have a giveaway to give away tonight. And Joe, I'm going to let you tell us all about that.
All right, so guys, and we're going to get into this, I'm sure, talking about a lot of our 2023 PCA releases, and we had quite a few. But one of the most beautiful releases we had was the Aria Humidor. I'm going to turn my phone around a second so you guys can see it.
Sure.
So this is a beautiful angular humidor. And what's great about this, I mean, it is stunning in presentation. But what's really cool is this laser engraved, humidity panel that really shows off the humidor. I mean, it is a beautiful piece. It's a 40 to 80 count humidor. It is stunning. It's something that, what's going to look great on your desk. It looks great in your, in your smoking cave. And it stands out. It's not just the normal box. It's, it's in a matte black finish. It's gorgeous. It has an MSRP of $299. So it's, it's a really high-end item, but it has this beautiful lined Spanish cedar interior. This is something that's special. So I want to give this away to one of someone who comments in tonight. Talk about your, just drop a comment in the chat. So we'll give it away towards what, Matt? We said the end of the week?
The end of the week.
Some people a chance.
Yeah.
So you guys drop a comment with your favorite QI product, whether it be Xikar, Humidor Supreme, Palio, Stinky, any of our products. Drop it in the chat, and then with the hashtag Xikar Nation, because we want to support our group, Xikar Nation. So drop that in the chat, and one of you guys is going to be taking home this beautiful Aria Humidor. So we'll be giving that away to one lucky winner.
I'm flooded with QI products right now, and this isn't just because you're here. Anybody who knows me personally can attest. Well, 2 of these lighters are brand new, and I made sure they were here. But you mentioned Stinky, right?
Stinky.
Which is so here's the thing with the Stinky ashtray. I just have to say this for a second. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. Stinky ashtray. If you don't know what it is, this is the Stinky ashtray. You've probably seen it, but you probably didn't know what it was. It's the bowl, and they make up. You guys make them in different sizes too. But that's like the regular size, I think. I use this is on the table here in the studio every day. Like this is what this thing's full. This is what I use. I don't have you go around the trade show, people you get the glass, the nice fancy ashtrays everyone always wants from all the manufacturers. And I'll be honest with you, being in the media, and Joe knows this, you come to acquire a lot of those things pretty often just because it's kind of part of the gig, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, I either give them away to people who I care about and I think would really appreciate them, or I hold on to them and I put them away. I never throw them away, but I make sure that they either get put away or they go to a nice home. But I don't use them out here. I don't. All I need is this metal Stinky ashtray, which, by the way, holds so much ash and nubs. Okay? I only have to, I probably should clean it more often, but I don't have to clean it every day, right? It's great, and it's like what, Joe? $19.99, if that.
A little bit more than that. But it depends on the version and the finish. Yeah, a little bit more, but not too much. But the fact is that it's a fantastic product. It's an icon in the industry. One of the things that you think about when when you go into with our portfolio of products is how many things when you think a cigar cutter, you're thinking an XI1. You're thinking an ashtray, you think Stinky. These are all products that represent and make up QI. And this is kind of just realistically what we are. We are an industry of the leading products. We're your one source of all your premium cigar accessory needs, and we have the best in the industry.
Absolutely. And guys, don't forget about that giveaway. Don't forget to drop your comments, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the platforms that we're on. Don't forget to drop a comment, and don't forget to use that hashtag Xikar Nation. Xikar Nation. We want to see Xikar Nation tonight. And speaking of Xikar Nation, here's another product that came out a few years ago. I know I'm going back in time, but we're going to go forward, I promise. I just wanted to highlight this. This is a cutter that it travels all over the world with me. This has been to every trade show with me. It has been to cigar factories with me. It has been to every friend's house, cigar lounge, you name it. This cutter goes with me everywhere. I've had it since it came out, and it still cuts like a charm, and that is the Xikar XO. Look at that bad boy. It's just.
Well, I'm more impressed that you haven't lost it or you haven't gotten taken away with all that travel.
I always put it in my checked bag and my toiletries bag, so I get pretty lucky. I never carry it with me on the plane. But yeah, no, it's still here. The finish is wearing off, but I like that because it shows that
a little patina.
it's just, I'd rather have it a little worn looking. It shows that this cutter has been used. It doesn't just sit on the shelf. This thing gets used, man. It does its job.
100%. I mean, look, that is a fantastic cutter. That's one of our top sellers. It is an amazing cutter. The rotary action on that, it's smooth like butter. It's the fact is that you've used it, and God knows I know how much you smoke. So how many cigars you've cut with that, and it's still working like a champ. That just shows the quality of our products. You know, when we say Xikar for life, we mean it.
I know, and it's true. And now we'll get to the new stuff. Now you have some new products, which we're really excited to check out tonight. I have a couple of them with me. Some of them I couldn't find because they're probably in one of 3 different containers with all of our extra cigar stuff that just comes crazily. But two of these are lighters, and I know one of them I got at TPE that came out early in the year, and one of them just came from PCA that I got from you. I'll start with the older one first. I think you remember this one with the big tank on it. That came out at
Palio
sorry, what was it again?
Palio Squadra.
That's right, the Squadra, which I know we saw earlier this year. 3 torch, giant ass tank on there, which is now my second favorite Palio lighter, and I'll explain why in a minute. But this it was number 1. It recently got dumped down to number 2. Not that that's a bad spot either. Or as Mickey Peg you mentioned Mickey Peg earlier.
The Ricky Bobby.
The Ricky Bobby. He would say this is the Ricky Bobby lighter now, and because it's number 2. But I love this lighter. It's a great lighter. Tell me all about it.
You need your number 2 to shake and bake.
That's right.
I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey right now. So here we go. So Palio Squadra. This is a fantastic lighter. It's a triangle triple torch. You got a 30-degree angle on that with that huge tank. That tank's going to light over 120 cigars. What it's really, and you have an easy flame adjustment wheel on the bottom. It's fantastic. And you know what the best part of this is? It's $10. This is a lighter that you can just take with you, carry with you, throw in your golf bag, throw wherever you need it to go. It's going to be a workhorse. Leave it in your car. You're going to buy 3 of them. You're going to keep one at the house, one in your car, and one in your pocket. Because at any point you're going to need it. And guess what? They're all going to have butane in them for months. Because that's how strong, great of a lighter these are. It's a triple torch lighter. I mean, you can't beat it for $10. Think about how many cigars that we buy. I mean, what we're smoking right now. All these cigars are over $10. And you know what the fantastic thing about that is? It's like, okay, well, we get a cigar that lasts us an hour and a half, 2 hours. Maybe if we're smoking really slow, 2.5. That lighter is going to last you as long, pretty much until you lose it. That's what's going to happen, and you can't beat that value for $10. I mean, it's fantastic. So we sell them, to retailers and displays at $20. So you get them right by the counter. It's a grab and go item. It's something that's perfect. It's like you said. It has I have a feeling I might know what your number 1 might be now, but I'm curious. We'll see. We'll talk about it in a minute, but. For a lot of people, that's their number 1 lighter. And, the other lighter that we have is a triple torch in Palio, is the Palio Vesuvio. That's also at $10. And that's just, it's a straight triple torch, doesn't have an angle flame. And that's one of our top sellers. And the Palio Squadra actually is rapidly climbing our list of top sellers this year since release. And it's just because of the power of the price and the power of the value that you get.
Yeah, I think you're muted, Matt.
Matt, I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I'm going to make a bold prediction here, Cotton, and I'm going to. There's another reference, and I'm going to say that this next product actually might end up being your number 1 lighter. I don't know. I don't know. I love it. I don't know what it is. It just feels great. The name, when I hold it in my hand, it feels as such. It'll make sense in just a second. But debuting at PCA 2023, we had. Quick draw. Pistola. I know it's a little cheesy, but I had to do it. It's for Joe. Joe's here.
I gotta get you a nice little holster for that.
Yeah, I would wear it too.
Do a little side draw. So I got one too. The Palio Pistola. So this is an angled double flame lighter. But what's great about this, beyond just you get the inline light jet, so that this gives you the control and the burn that you like, with a dual flame lighter. But you also get that nice control. And what I like it for is for touch-ups. That when the jets are in line, it's great for touch-ups, great for making sure your burn stays straight and stays even. That's when you want to do it, you want to have a great important. The tank is huge on this thing. I mean, it lights up to 150 cigars, and so one of the big things, like we talked about earlier, is swag bunker, right? Now, on the Palio line, we have the Torsia and the Treo, which you can brand, but they weren't like some of the other Palios, like the Sienna, the Vesuvio, that really have these giant tanks. So what we really wanted to do is focus on, hey, what can we do? What can we do to put our logo on? So we gave these out. We gave 1,000 lighters out at the opening party for PCA, which was madness. I mean, you were there that night. It was crazy.
Dude, it was
that
insane.
It was epic. It was a great opening party.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was an amazing opening party. They put a great job on all the other manufacturers. I mean, we had Espinosa, we had Room 101, you had Saka. I mean, we had a great opening party there. That was awesome. That was a great job, and the attendance was huge. So we gave 1,000 lighters out, and it was to showcase, look at what we can do now for you guys. So we came this out with the new Palio Pistola. The MSRP is $14.99, so it is a little bit more expensive, but again, comparatively to the cigars you're smoking, we saw, hey, how many $100 cigars did we see at the show? Quite a few. But what you see with that is something that's a great lighter. That's $15. You can't beat it. And again, for all of our retail and manufacturer partners, and anybody really, it's just, hey, we have the ability to brand it. So it comes in a 16 count display, and it has 4 colors on it, and it's a great option. It's something that is a great lighter to use every day. And what I also like about it is that slim pocket feel. It's not bulky in your pocket. It fits right in there, and you don't have anything jutting out against you. It's something that's nice.
And I have to say, I still think that the holster is a good idea, and I would wear that. But you mentioned like it's $14.99, and you kind of followed it up with, I know it's a little more expensive, but honestly, $14.99 is still a great fucking deal for this thing. I mean, think about how many people spend 4 times that on again, look, I have lighters and cutters that are $10, and I have some that are 4 digits, without mentioning any names. And believe me, they all perform really well. And there's a different mode behind every product. But when you're looking at something like this, $14.99, and you said you got enough fuel here, according to you, I'll use your words, but 150 cigars you can light with this thing.
150 cigars tested. It's on the box.
So first of all, you go to your local shop, right? You pick one of these up for $14.99, and you have them give you the courtesy fill, right? According to Quality Importers, then that first fill up that the retailer hopefully does on the house, as I know my retailers do for me. You also you're getting free gas for 150 cigars, and depending on how you smoke, I mean, especially if you don't smoke as much as the 3 of us do, that's gonna last you a pretty damn long time for $14.99. I mean, that's a great deal, and I have to say, I love the angle on this lighter too. I like the way it feels in the hand. I like the button being right on the back there. The way that it just once you flip the cap down, right, and it almost just kind of like it just stays there right in your hand. It's perfect, and you shoot that flame. Now I know it's only a 2-burner, but I have to say this is a pretty good two jet 2-burner lighter. I was lighting some pretty big cigars with this over the weekend, and
Yep.
They lit up pretty fast. I mean, compared to some 3-torch lighters I have that are pretty nice. I mean, I had some 60, 70 ring gauge cigars, toasty, in under a minute with this thing.
I feel like that angle almost increase it, doesn't necessarily increase the temperature, but like you said, it lights it a little quicker, and you can be so accurate with it. Like some of those 3-torch flames, they're just kind of like a little more spread out, and it sometimes takes, well, even though it's 3 torches, it's not as accurate. And yeah, like you said, that was at the show, and I'm pretty sure I lit pretty much every cigar at the show with that thing.
Yeah, you got one of these, right, Mitchell?
I did. Yeah, I couldn't bring it back because I was flying back, but yeah, it was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, that's kind of the point, guys. Like the thing is, all of these products we design in-house. We have our great designer, Jimmy Muto, and think about like the little things, right? Like the button.
The big trigger.
That button's not a small button. It's a big trigger because guess what? You know, especially for guys like me, you got the meaty paws. You know, it's something that gives you comfort. It's going to work. You want to make it comfort. You know, Matt, like you said, your finger just rests in there comfortably.
Yeah.
It's about comfort and design. It has a grip on it, so it's not going to slip in case your hands are sweaty. You know, or if you're out doing stuff and you need to light your cigar. I mean, like how many guys, you know, are lighting bundles every day when they're out mowing the lawn or doing their, you know, just doing work around the house. You want something that's going to work, and that's, you know, what we do. We put in the little touches, but it's what makes the difference in our products.
And hey, you throw in some Xikar butane in there, and you know you got the perfect combo.
You're good to go.
You are good to go. You know, I know one of the other things I know. I think did you update the Palio cutters as well this year?
So we introduced the Palio V cut that came out at the trade show last year.
Okay.
We've now we introduced new colors of that, so now it comes in multiple colors, and we're putting them into displays and we've actually reduced the price on the Palio, the straight cutter in black down to $24.99, matches the rest of the line. What you really see is, you know, Palio it's a fantastic cutter. I mean, it has that contour body to act as a cigar rest. It works every time. Introducing the V cutter was a natural fit for the line because V cutter is insanely popular. In fact, the V cutter is, I believe, our #1 seller in Xikar, which is, you know, there is a massive amount of people who truly love a V cut. So putting that in Palio is a great fit and giving colors and great options both for branding and just, you know, for people to have a little bit of that personality is great. And now they're also coming in displays. So again, you know, Palio is a product that's, you know, really designed for that grab and go, to live by the counter, to, you know, be that great item that you just want to throw in your bag and take with you or throw a couple in the car. And it's at a price point that's super accessible.
Yeah, and I remember, you know, in the early days when I first started smoking, I spent a lot of my time at Two Guys Smoke Shop, who obviously is part of the show now too. But I used to go in there, and, you know, they're a big QI retailer. You know, they have a lot. I mean, we got 2 of the 6-foot tower cabinets that I got from them that I know are QI.
Yep.
And I remember, you know, one of the first cutters I had was Palio. And I remember going in there and, you know, all the staff had them and they had the little leather cases for them. And you'd be like, oh, like, have you seen the Palios? Like, oh, you got to get a Palio. And, you know, I've since obviously owned hundreds of cutters and lighters, but, you know, Palio was one of those first cutters that I owned that, you know, I was like, damn, that was a cutter that I carried around everywhere. I mean, it's been kind of replaced by Xikar, but, you know, it was one of those cutters that it was like the first time I was like, damn, like this is like, you know, not just a cheap one that I got. Like, it was when I was kind of like, I'm really getting into cigars now. I'm really like into this now, where I have a solid everyday cutter that I keep with me at all times, and it was a Palio, and I still have it. It still works. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's probably a little worn, but, you know, again, it's probably what, 6.5, 7 years old now at this point. But I still got it. I mean, I don't think I've ever had. Wow, what was that? I don't think I've ever had one of your products that has fallen apart, broken, had an issue with. I had a slight issue with one of my cabinets, but that's neither here nor there. One of the doors just doesn't quite seal all the way on the top, but I don't know. I don't think that was a manufacturer issue. I don't know. It came like that. It might have been from the retailer. I don't know. But anyway, which it's not even a major issue. But my point being is, like, you know, there's products out there I could tell you, like, yeah, they're good. You know, every few there's been some issues. Or, like, this is my other favorite, which I'll actually bring that up in a sec. But, you know, again, just consistency, quality and consistency. We hear that from the cigar manufacturers, and you were on that side of the business. I mean, you know how that goes. We hear that all the time, like, oh, you know, we always draw test, and, you know, the consistency, we test the tobaccos and all that, and that's great. But even outside of those products, when you look at stuff like this, I mean, you guys really do have it down to not to really steal Perdomo's mantra, but, you know, that quality and consistency and excellence with your products. So, again, not to steal from the Perdomos, but it's the same concept.
No, and I mean, look, but exactly, it's the same concept. And like our cigar manufacturing partners, it's about our case. It's design. Why they blend and you putting in the right, making sure you're testing for the right construction. We don't just grab something off the factory in China. We don't just say, they don't say, okay, hey, we have this, and okay, we'll slap a logo on it. Everything from the ground up is designed, tested, built, tested again. Okay, we don't quite like this. Let's change this. Modified 3, 4, 5, 6, half dozen times until we get it right. Until we feel that it is a good product that we would use ourselves. And that goes from anything from our Palio line, which is our budget line, all the way through Xikar, which is the top of the line, and Humidor Supreme. Every one of these products is tested and built and designed with confidence. And that's the difference. That's what really makes us, separates us and makes us special.
Now, I have another Xikar product here that I've had for a very long time. And this product is with me all the time. And I use this product, maybe not every day, but as often as I need to use it, which is still pretty frequently. But it's also a product I feel like a lot of people don't know about. And a lot of people, therefore, don't own. And they should, because I see them using alternatives to this product. And I cringe when I see it because they just don't know better. And that is the beautiful multi-tool from Xikar.
The Xikar tune-up tool. That is and I appreciate you bringing this up. I mean, look, you're right. Not as many people know about this. It is a fantastic option. Not only is this great, is a bleeder tool because it has the vents, and this will bleed your lighter dry. I mean, it'll get every piece of gas, every little gap of air out of there. This is fantastic.
Which actually, I'll demonstrate for those. You can keep going, but I will.
There you go. Look, he's going to bleed it right now. He's going to be there a while because it's got the, you got the Palio going. Look at that. You hear that noise? It's butane going. But the other thing is what's great about this, it has the, the screwdriver attachment. So you guys can do some basic maintenance on this. So that, hey, if you want to adjust the fuel valve on your lighter, one of the great things, okay, hey, on the bottom of a Xikar lighter, I want to take that fuel wheel off because guess what? I can do a little bit of maintenance. I can just, adjust the fuel, the fuel adjustment valve a little bit to make sure that my lighter's working properly. This is a great tool to have. This is something that works every time. It's fantastic. And you know what? This is how you want to improve your tools. And guess what? It's only $11.99. It's available at any of your retailers. It's available at, on Xikar.com. Something easy to pick up, and it's going to keep your lighters in working condition, and it's just great to have all around.
So it's something that I try to recommend to people whenever I can because I think it is such an important product. I hate when I see someone using a knife or a paper clip, and whether I've seen people do it with Xikar lighters. I've seen people do it with a Line 2 from SD DuPont. And I just see people jamming it in there, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do that, please. I'm like, just please go buy one of these. It's short money, and you'll thank me so much in the long run. When you don't have to throw your lighter away, or if you have a higher end lighter, you don't have to send it in for a $400 service because you jammed the bleeder valve. Just please buy that, please. It's just such a great tool. This is another one that I've had this for 5 years, and it stays in my cigar portfolio, my leather carrier that I have. And I have there's a little thing in the middle. It slides right in the middle. I got all my cutters and lighters. I got my cigars, but this is still there, man. And anytime I need to tune it up, it's there, and I do it properly. And then all my lighters, like I said, regardless of what they are, they all should be handled with care and respect, and that is the best way to do that, in my opinion. So I had to highlight that just because it's one of those products that more people need to know about, and I think it's a great product. And I don't think do any of your competitors make a similar product? I think that's the only one I've actually seen, to be honest.
Not the 100% familiar with, but I mean, like you said, it's a great product. And look, think about all the care that we go into putting into our cigars, right? Into humidification, into storage, making sure that these are perfectly maintained. And like you said, you may have a $10 lighter, but you may have a $1,200, $1,500, $5,000 lighter. Don't you want to think that spending just a minor one-time investment to something that's going to maintain it and make sure that it's going to function properly? I mean, look, the number one thing, and I'm sure every retailer knows it, when they say a customer comes in and says, my lighter doesn't work, first thing that they ask and the first thing everyone does. I did one of my retail days. Did you bleed it? What's bleeding it? Hold on. And you take your tune-up tool, you pop it in, and you bleed the lighter. And then immediately you fill it back up, and guess what? It works 9 times out of 10 because they just had some air trapped in there, and it just wasn't, it wasn't igniting. That's the most common thing, but it's a small little thing. And if you do it right, you're going to maintain your lighters, and you're going to make sure that they always work properly.
Absolutely. So true. Guys, just as a quick reminder, don't forget, giveaway tonight. Use that hashtag XikarNation. Tell us about your favorite either product or experience with Xikar, Palio, or otherwise any Quality Importers product for your chance to win that beautiful, beautiful humidor that Joe so eloquently presented to us. Joe, I actually just remembered. There's another product that you guys recently debuted. Now, this isn't negative. This is more of, I'm still trying to understand. And I did forget about this product. And it might break up the full praise that I've given you tonight. Not that it's not deserved, but the Xikar Revolution. Now, this is a product that you guys debuted recently. I believe it was the end of last year, middle of last year.
PCA of 2022.
Okay. So this product is a great cutter, but it's still one that I think that I haven't really figured out the most comfortable way to hold yet. But it is truly unique, and I can see the benefits to people who can get into this cutter, and I do have one here. And I'll show it to you. The outer rim here is all one big grip that spins. And so ideally, you twist this outer embankment here, and as you can see, the cutter opens and closes. So, Joe, in your opinion, what is really the best way? Because I've played with this. I've talked to some other people who've kind of been like playing with it too. I mean, really, what is the you have the loop here on the end, right? I mean, what is the best way? I mean, do you put a finger through there and then spin it, or is that more of just like as a holder for later?
It depends on your hand, right? Some people, you like to have the extra finger in there for some stabilization. For me, I always rotate it. You take you kind of just put it, you palm it, right? And then you can rotate with your hands. The reason this is, it's power, it's spring assisted, and it gives you that actuation. There you go. You're kind of getting it a little bit. I usually do it with my first and middle finger as I'm palming it. And what's great about this is, especially for a lot of older guys, that have it, it actually is great for people with arthritis that don't have that full closing action. This can hurt a lot of people that have, when they're closing a cutter, and it kind of causes them a little bit of pain. This is actually very smooth and easy. Yeah, it takes a second. I will be honest. It does take a second to figure out if you were just handed this, it takes a second to play with it. But then once you get comfortable and rocking with it, it's a fantastic cutter. Mm-hmm. This thing cuts as smooth like butter. It's, it's a great option, and it's different, right? One thing that you always say about, Xikar and a lot of our products, we don't just do things normally and just don't come out with, okay, here's a cutter in a different color, and we just call that a day. And this is our release for this year, or make a minor tweak. We're always focused on innovation here at Quality Importers, and the Revolution is innovation. It came out for Xikar's 25th anniversary, which was last year, and it's unique. It's different. It's the first of its kind on the market, and that's where you want to kind of get to. So that's it's a unique cutter. It's something you want to have that ability. So yeah, is it for everybody? It depends on how you liked it. Like I said, it does take a minute, maybe play with it, kind of get used to it. But the other thing is, we have a lot of different options that fit your needs. But I know a lot of customers who do like that, a lot of consumers who, for me, this is a great cutter because it really fits my lifestyle and, what I like to use it for.
I was looking at this, and, it is so unique. And I like how you mentioned that there are customers out there, especially people with arthritis or other issues where, that spring assist really makes a difference for them, which I think is great. Because I know someday, hopefully, I don't get there, but if I do, I'll have products like this to help me. But I couldn't help but wonder, was that part of the inspiration behind the design process for this product? I mean, it's so unique. I guess what I'm asking is, where did the influence for this particular style and design come from? Was there a driving factor, or was it just trying to find something totally different?
Well, I think it was a lot of it was really about innovation. Like Jimmy was working with the designs. We had some inspiration from different different sources, and trying to say, hey, what is it different? Look, when you look at a cutter, right? It's like, okay, how do we okay? There's a straight cut, there's a V cut, we have the punch. What can we do that's a little bit differently? How do you do something different and innovative? And that's where this cutter really kind of started coming from. Was okay, let's make something innovative and try a different method. And as we saw it that it came out and how we designed it, that's a unique way. And there's something, like I said, for a year where you want to celebrate the biggest, one of the most important things of Xikar, which is their innovation. It is important to innovate.
Yeah, and it's funny because you guys have done a pretty great job with your innovation and making things different, and kind of holding to that. And it's exciting because now every time I get to go to the trade show and see your wonderful face, I also can't help but wonder now. I feel like I'm setting myself up for this. Like, all right, Joe, what's the product this year? Like, and most likely I'm going to be excited because you guys really haven't let me down yet. So, you're setting the bar pretty high for yourself going forward. You haven't really stumbled. So,
Well, I mean, I appreciate that, Matt. Look, this year we came pretty heavy. We came to the trade show. We had a lot of new products, and we had a lot of innovative releases and things that were getting into new segments. And I can tell you that looking at next year already, because PCA is already only 8 months away.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny to think about. TPE is only 6 months away. We already got some stuff cooking, and we're keep rocking.
Now, on your travel humidors, I know you guys have a line of travel humidors. We saw them at the show. You have the Xikar ones, and then you have another line of travel humidors.
Cigar Caddy.
Cigar Caddy, that's right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Cigar Caddy, we talked a little bit about this at the show. Was the design on those like inspired by another company's products or something like that?
Yeah, similar to Otterbox, and
Okay.
and there's some related some stuff there that you take inspiration. And look, it is a fantastic for us, and it's funny because we this year put a lot of emphasis into our car caddy and investing into that brand, so much so both in terms of how much product we're buying and our relationships with the factories, that we actually were able to do a price decrease on the brand to help better help our customers. So for us, much like Palio is your great everyday lighter and cutter, the Cigar Caddy is for your travel humidors, and it's a great product, waterproof, crush proof. This is going to protect your cigars, and it comes in a variety of colors, and it's a great option. So it's something that we really like, and I mean it's designed from the ground up to be functional.
It was nice. I think did we see those at TPE as well? I know we saw.
Yep, we released 3 new colors at TPE. We have an OD green, the red clay, and the desert tan. So those are new colors. And again, it's about, hey, what matches your style? Not just all the work that we do with manufacturers through customization, through Swag Bunker, but really what matches you and your personality. So you have options for that.
Yeah, and it was amazing to see those. I mean, going to the QI booth was interesting because, you guys make accessories, obviously. So, that's what's going to be there. But, there's so many different categories that, even when you go into that booth, you got Xikar and its cutters and lighters and other products. You got Palio with its cutters and lighters and other stuff. Then you got the Cigar Caddy. And there's so many, and then you got all the humidors, right? And there's just so many different avenues of like all these different things that you go into that booth, or hey, you walk into a retailer who carries all those products, right? You go in there and you're like, hey, like I want to look at accessories, which one of the things that we did some research and we talked to some of our peers in the industry, and we learned that one of the most exciting parts of trade shows on a consumer level for the people who read or watch or follow along with the content that we deliver from those trade shows, one of the actual biggest things is the accessories department. In fact, people read more about that stuff than they do about the actual cigar releases. The new cigar comes out and like, that's cool, whatever, I'll try it. But like, people really get invested into new accessories. They actually spend more time clicking through more pages. I mean, this is just research that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. And I remember I discovered that, and I was like, wow, that's very interesting. And so I told the team, like, we have to do more with accessories, because people just love this shit. And I think because people get more fascinated looking at a $14 lighter like this and being like, oh, wow, that's so cool and that's badass. And, like, I want to see it and I want to play with it. And then, like, a cigar, it's like, yeah, that's cool. It's another Maduro. I'll smoke it. And it sounds like it's going to be good. I'm excited. And they kind of just move on from it. But people get so much more invested in this stuff, and it's crazy. But it does make sense to me now, especially once you start playing with all these products. I mean,
Well, think about it too, Matt. Look, accessories are ubiquitous in the sense that you need a lighter, you need a cutter, you need a way to light and cut your cigar. You may have a favorite brand of a cigar that you enjoy, whether it be Drew Estate or Florida Dominicana or anybody. You have these options that you like. So if you see a release from, say, Dunbarton, and you don't smoke Dunbarton, well, that may not be of interest to you to read it, but I need a way to light my cigar. I need a way to cut it, and I always want something. Look, I know a lot of us here, and we're junkies, right? We have to have multiple cutters and lighters. We have to have ones that fit this style, or it's like guys with watches or ties or how they dress. This is that kind of style. It's that collecting mentality. So they always want to see what's new and what's out there, and it applies to industry wide, regardless of what you smoke. You need a lighter to smoke, to smoke with. I mean, we rub two sticks together, but that makes it a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it becomes like something personal, because like Matt said, like it's something, your accessories you take with you everywhere, right? Like there's those go-to, it's in your pocket, it's in your bag, and it becomes so much more personal than, say, like your cigars, because like you said, like a lot of us are smoking different cigars every day, but we're using the same lighter or the same cutter or something of the sort to go around. And the other thing is, as mentioned before, you want to sit down and you want the cigar to be the thing that you enjoy, and you don't want your accessories to get in the way of that. You want it to be consistent, you want it to perform, and you want to know that when you go back to those accessories, every time it's going to give you the same cut or light, and it's gonna work. And yeah, I've definitely noticed that.
One of the things about lighters, cutter, like, I feel like we spend more time talking about lighters, but I feel like the reason is because excuse me, sorry, I just need a little bit of water there. I feel like, obviously a lighter's mechanically it's just a little more involved than a cutter, but there's also more chance of a fail with a lighter than there is a cutter. And one of the downsides, and Joe, I've never experienced this with any of your lighters, but there is one, and there's only really one brand who I consistently have run into this issue with. I won't say who it is because I'm not trying to blow up anyone's spot. I did enough of that on Saturday night. But there is one brand of lighter that I notice, multiple models and variations and stuff that I have owned, that I run into this issue with a backspark, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And there's nothing more frustrating, and to kind of build on what Mitchell was saying and what you were saying, is there's nothing more frustrating than you have this lighter, cool lighter, awesome lighter, you're excited to use it, whatever, and that's the only lighter you have with you because you're like, man, this lighter's cool and I'm going to use it, and you go to light it and it backsparks and you can't get the flame to go because it just keeps arcing the other way. And unless you know how to do that on your own and go in there and fix, the ignition prongs and all that, which even then, I know a lot of people probably wouldn't even want to waste their time with. It ruins the experience.
Well, do you want to? The real thing is, do you want to be doing that? Do you want to be spending time adjusting your lighter, or do you want it to work every time because you want to enjoy your cigar?
No.
Mitchell, like what you were describing there is what I always call is the ritual, right? I mean, if we really think about it, the average person maybe smokes one cigar a week. Obviously, we're not the average people, but
no.
The average person smokes one cigar a week. He's going to sit down. He's going to grab his cigar. He's going to think about what he wants to smoke. He's worked his ass off all week or her. Maybe they have kids. Matt, you'll soon learn what that's like. And just like to find time to do this. Like the other night, this is a cool thing. I'll share this real quick. The other night it was my son's birthday, and it was on Sunday, and he turned 4. But coming back from the trade show, Matt, where I think it was the first one where we met in 2019 when I flew home because my wife got the scare, was, hey, I had one cigar in my bag. It was a Hoya de Nicaragua Numero Uno, and after Charlie was born, I basically begged and beat up Juan until they gave me a box. They gave me a box with Charlie's birthday on it, and it has his name and it has his birthday, and I smoke one of those every year. That is a truly special moment for me because I use that time. I reflect as a father how this year's gone. I sit back, and it's usually something I do myself. I'll pour myself a little bit of rum or, depending on what it is, and I sit back and I enjoy it. And that's a special moment. And what did I grab with me? I had I'll show you guys in a second, but I had my new Xikar XI1 Perfect Cut, wherever I put that, somewhere.
Which those are those exclusive to Smoke In?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So it's exclusive to Smoke In. I think I just moved it, so let me see where I got it. But that's exclusive to Smoke In.
Awesome.
Fantastic. And it's a new innovation. So it's exclusive to Smoke In for the time being. And it's a great item. Abe's got some amazing colors on it. So it's fantastic. There it is. Sorry, I was sitting on it. That's the problem, right? This is what happens when you have this. So I had my new cutter. And then in this case, I had my Xikar Meridian lighter, which is a triple soft flame lighter. It's one of my favorite lighters. I wanted that experience to be perfect, and that's what it was. And that's really what you want. You want this moment not to be worried about, hey, am I fumbling around with my my tools? I want them to work every time, and I invest in that. And that's where people spend the money. Yeah, some people spend thousands of dollars, but you say, what do you want? What matters to you in my accessories? Do I trust this is going to work? What do I want out of my experience? So that's where this comes into play. It's how you feel that night. And that's what I did. And it's a cool thing. And that happens to so many people on a daily basis. And I'm glad that we get to be a part of that.
Now, we had an interesting question here, and I wanted to bring this up. Louis Toro Jr., who also dropped the Xikar Nation hashtag. So, job well done.
Good man.
Good man.
Good luck.
Yeah. Any certain and this is a great question. This is a great entry. Any certain quality of butane work better than others or nah? Now, I've heard this before, and I know there's some manufacturers that require you to use specific butane or recommend certain butane, and I'm sure a lot of that has to do with just keeping on buying it from them or whatever it is. But at Xikar and Palio QI, do you guys have an answer for that, or is it not really a concern?
No, I mean, look, the butane is also one of the most important things of your lighter. You could buy cheap butane. I'm not going to name any names, but it has impurities in it. It's going to not work as well. It's not going to ignite as well. It's not going to burn as cleanly as butane. So Xikar, we have two kinds. We have our premium butane, which is refined. It's a fantastic butane. And then we have our HP. Our HP actually has a mix. It has actually a little bit more compressed air in it, and that mix of gas actually really it helps the ignition of the fuel. So we always recommend using our HP butane. It's fantastic. It is a great option. It actually, I know Coop has said this numerous times. He's had lighters that don't work. He's filled it with the HP butane, and they work again. That's the power and the testament that it goes into our butane. Again, it's about the engineering behind it, right? This isn't something that we're just putting out there to say, okay, here we have some butane. No, we're making sure it's well refined and it's cared for.
It's funny. We have to get to our news segment really quickly, but before we do, you mentioned William Cooper, and I think I'm actually going to save this for after our news because this could get away from us here. But I'll tease this with, we have a lot to talk about with William Cooper when it comes to you. Specifically when it comes to anything Philly related, more specifically when it comes to cheesesteaks. But that's all I'm going to say for now. Let's just hit our news segment really quickly, and then we'll get back to this amazing conversation. Our news is once again brought to you by Micallef Cigars. If you head over to Micallef Cigars today, check out the new, or your local Micallef cigar retailer, check out the new Micallef Black. It's a beautiful cigar, rated 91 by Kevin Acuff at SmokinTabacco.com. You can read all about it. Check it out. Smoke it today. It is a blackout, Micallef Black.
I just smoked it.
Yeah, it's a great cigar, and I have more on the way, actually. I can't wait to get them. I think they're coming tomorrow, so I gotta let those rest for a few days, and then we're gonna fire them up this weekend. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to news this week, there's not a lot of new news outside of just what we saw at the trade show. So what I'm going to kind of leave you with here is head over to SmokinTabacco.com and check out all of our trade show coverage. We're still rolling it out. Myself and the guys have just been going as fast as we can here. There's a lot to get out, and we've been really busy, but it is on its way out. There's some interesting highlights, new products all over the trade show. Some of which from QI we've already talked about tonight, but even from all the cigar manufacturers, there's a lot of interesting stuff that comes out. Arturo Fuente has shown some new products, such as the Eye of the Bull. The Don Carlos Eye of the Bull will now be available in the United States to consumers and retailers. They're also going to be rolling out their Opus X Oro Escuro. That's the yellow boxes. And that's going to be rolled out in its the 3-finger metal tins, which you've probably seen in Angel Share, or the black ones, which are the regular Opus. So those will now be available in the Oro Escuro. So if you just want to get that 3-pack, check those out. Mickey Peg's All Saints, they're bringing out the Solamente this year. They're bringing it back as a limited edition. Ashton has announced their La Aroma de Cuba, Connecticut, which is made at the My Father's Cigars factory, which is rolling out. La Flor Dominicana has announced that the Lido Gomez is coming back. We'll probably see more on that this year, but they weren't taking orders, but they were kind of just teasing it there at the show. They had one box on display. Coincidentally, it's also a very similar, all but different design and color of what their next TAA cigar is going to be, the Emerald, if I believe that's how you say it. Totally new blend for their 2023 TAA blend. They're done with the golden blend that ended with the Solomons this year, so we'll be seeing a new blend from them. Room 101, the 14th anniversary, right on track. That will be coming out soon, as well as a permanent core line of Johnny Tobacco Knot, which will now be available in the original Perfecto Ranfla size, as well as a Toro and Robusto in boxes of 20. Those will be coming out, I believe, by the end of the summer, maybe the fall, if I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know those are coming. Los Tados Deluxe is coming out with the Los Tados Deluxe Maduro and beautiful baby blue boxes. Gurkha's announced that they're going to be celebrating the 35th anniversary. They have a 35th anniversary cigar, the 25th anniversary of the Beauty, for those who've been around long enough to remember the Beauty, as well as a Year of the Dragon, which is going to be badass. If you haven't seen that, head over to SmokinTabacco.com. You can read all about it. And, while we're at it, let's throw this in here. I'm not going to list them all off because there's too many, but one of the several things that Steve Saka brought to the trade show, some of which has already been shipped and sold out. So head over to SmokinTabacco.com and read all about it. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm not even going to pick one because it's hard to pick one. There's just too much. Mitchell, you've been working on this too. So just there's so much going on. Head over to SmokinTabacco.com. That's all the news for the week. Is everything from PCA. Let's get Joe back on here though. Joe, it's funny. Like I said right before the news break, you mentioned William Cooper, who is a one of the godfathers of media, or online media, I should say. He's been around. He's a great guy. I love him to death. Didn't get to spend as much time with him at PCA as I wanted to, but we were both really busy working, so I understand. But what I do know is that tomorrow is a glorious day, because I am now the latest victim of Coop's food criticism. What
did you do?
Well, I went to Costco with my wife, and I enjoyed something that I've enjoyed since I was a child, and that was a Costco hot dog and a slice of pizza from the Costco food court. A meal, however, mind you, 2 slices of pizza, 2 sodas, and 1 hot dog cost me $6.79. I'm not saying it's a gourmet meal, but it's better than the stuff that's sitting on the warmer at 7-Eleven. Decent food for the money. It's just a nice value, right? Tonight's been all about good products at a good value. That's a good product at a good value. And
100%.
Coop had to come in here and Coop shit on it and say, like, that's atrocious. How dare you? But Coop did tell me, after I gave him some pushback, I'm going to give it an honest try. Because during that argument, he revealed that he had never had it. And I said, how can you criticize something you've never had? So he said, all right, Thursday, I'm going to Costco. I'm going to try the pizza and the hot dog, and I'm going to give a full review. And I said, I cannot wait. And I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I need to rally my troops on my side. Coop admitted to me, this is a big deal, one of his own took my side. That's right. His son said, "Yeah, you're in the wrong on this, Dad." He's right. Costco Pizza's bomb. So there is a Cooper who already is on my side. His name's
Okay.
William.
So hold on, I'm gonna chime in here. I have to chime in. I agree. First of all, I'm going to take your side because I agree with you that it is a solid. You can't. It's an unprecedented value. I mean, this is on the Palio, Squadra and Palio Pistola levels of value that you get. You can't beat the price, especially like $1.50 hot dog. It's ginormous. It's huge.
With the soda. It comes
Now,
with the soda.
Right, with the soda. I mean, I did this when I was in my Drew Estate days. You could actually drive over. There's a Costco right over there. You get it for lunch. You can't beat the value. Now, I will say this. The pizza is solid for the price, but as someone in Miami, that's on the upper echelon of pizza because pizza down here generally is terrible. I will say that. It's the one thing I miss about living in the Northeast. Pizza down here is just, there's one or two places, one of which is where I met my wife. And then, there's like one or two other decent spots for pizza. But you can't go to a normal, like regular around the corner shop and get pizza. So down here, Costco's in the upper echelon. But in the ranks of pizza in the world, yeah, it's solidly, I would say, average. But again, average at like $1.50, that's not bad. And yeah, North Carolina, it's not like you get them. I mean, you get some decent pizza. It's not like amazing, but there's some decent spots. But I'm just saying that you have to factor in a little bit of the cost. But yeah, what you get for $6.75 at Costco, you can't beat anywhere else.
No, you can't.
And God knows you get fed. Yeah.
And the other thing,
I mean, think about this. People go there. They don't go there to shop. They go there to eat. It's Costco. They go there to eat. That is people's like lunch. That is their meal. They're like, I'm going here. Oh, and by the way, you get, if you want a water, it's a quarter.
Joe, I say this respectfully, and I feel like it's one of those things, like certain inappropriate things that people can only say if they're also part of that club. Jose Blanco. If you watched Spare Notes on Saturday, or if you didn't, that's fine. But I told the story.
I haven't. I didn't. It was. Yeah, I didn't catch it, so I have to catch up. Because apparently you were talking shit that you said, so now I gotta watch it.
Well, I also talked about some shit that was said to me by Jose Blanco, who pretty much called me fat at the airport. So apparently, according to Jose, I've reached fat status. And as respectfully, I love you as such. You're not as skinny as Mitchell over there. So I think you and I are safe to say we're in the thicker man club. So
you're in baby weight. You're in baby weight. Your wife's getting ready to have the baby. Hey, look,
sympathy
trust
weight.
Me. It's sympathy weight. It happens. How many you get the calls that's like, hey, I need ice cream. It's 3 a.m, but you're gonna get a little something for yourself too.
I asked her today. I go, did you eat today? She's like, I went to McDonald's for breakfast. I was like, damn, I'm jealous.
You're like, that sounds good right now. I want a sausage biscuit. Yeah,
but suffice to say, you're a guy that likes to eat too. I enjoy food. Who doesn't enjoy food?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mitchell enjoys food so much he tries to eat it as fast as he can, so it disappears, which is a whole nother thing. But yet he still looks like he weighs like 99 pounds. It's crazy. But you want a real, and Joe, I know you'll appreciate this. You really want a fat guy move when you go to Costco. This is a fat guy move. I've been doing this a long time, and it's starting to catch up with me. I'm going to have to stop, but I'm not happy about it. You go and you get the churro. I assume you guys got the churros at Costco.
Of course. You got to have dessert.
But what do you do with the churro? Do you just eat it by yourself, or do you add an accompaniment to it? No, you add an accompaniment to it. You get the soft serve ice cream, and you use that as a dessert dip, and that's how you eat it. And that's what I like to call a professional move. And
it's like when you go to Wendy's, you get the fries and the Frosty.
Boom.
I don't think we get the churro up here in Canada, or at least
that's because
I don't
that's
think
Canada.
My Costco has the churro.
You guys don't know what's going on up there.
You guys probably have some weird poutine thing going on.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, do you guys get poutine? Because we do. We have poutine. That's my go-to. Is a hot dog.
This is America. We don't eat that.
No, what is that?
But do you know what's so? They actually, the cheese curds are not too bad.
I do like cheese curds.
My go-to is I get, instead of getting the whole poutine, because when you order the poutine up here in Canada from Costco, they give you it in it's like in a bigger fry basket. Like you get like a full thing, and then there's cheese and gravy on top. So what I do instead, because I really, with a hot dog and that, I can eat it all, and I've done it multiple times, but I usually feel not the best after. So what I do instead is I'll order just a side of fries, which comes a little smaller, and then I just get my own little side of gravy, and I do gravy and fries with a hot dog.
Joe,
And you get that little dipping action.
this is also
It's
coming.
good.
This is coming from a guy who we went to. So on Friday night at the trade show, after the industry night party, that you guys so eloquently contributed to putting on. We were hungry, so the little hors d'oeuvres were nice, but they weren't enough to fill us. So we went to a steakhouse. We went to Smith and Walensky, and
Ooh, one
whole
of my
team,
favorites.
the whole team went out. You know, everyone was finally. Mitchell got to town Friday afternoon, so I was like, all right, we're all finally together. Let's go somewhere nice. Let's celebrate. We're all together. It's first show as a team. Let's go somewhere. Let's go something fun. We all go. You know, we get the bread, get all the appetizers. Everyone gets a steak because, I mean, like, that's why you go there. And while all of us are enjoying our beautiful cuts of steak, very quickly after they came to the table, I look at Kevin Acuff, who's also part of Smokin Tabacco, and he looks at me, and we both look at Mitchell, and there's still a decent amount of meat on our plates, and we're guys who like to eat, right? And Mitchell's bone is already clean, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there? And this kid, who looks like he doesn't eat at all, can put beef away like it is his job.
Mitchell, how old are you again?
I'm 30.
You're 30? First of all, you look
31
12.
soon.
I appreciate you. But no.
Hey, you know what?
Wow.
That was the running
I
joke
was
at
ready
the
for
trade
that.
show. Half the time, people were like, "Are you allowed to be in here, sir? Like, are you? Can I
The
see
Nevada-
ID?
The Nevada
Like,
Gaming
are you
Commission asked him
allowed-
for his license like 3 times.
I know.
It's
I mean, look,
you know,
I give you
in
shit out.
Canada,
Good.
in Canada, the legal age is 19 here to smoke. 18, 19, I don't even know. But you know, I know it's been bumped up to 21. People are like, "Are you sure? I know you're not from here, so we had to double check."
No, it's just funny. I mean, hey, good for you. You do look younger. It's a positive thing, right? I will say
Yeah, I
this.
don't know how he
But
does
but the fact is that your metabolism hasn't kicked yet. That's the thing. It's like I remember those days of being able to just eat and eat and eat. And some days I still do that, but oof, you're gonna. It doesn't agree, and it quickly gains back on you. You know, it doesn't. It's not like it used to.
So,
Well,
Joe,
good for you.
being from Philly, when we talk about food, you know, you obviously grew up in the land of the cheesesteak. And I know that this has become a topic, especially with Terrence Riley being involved.
Yes.
And Kevin actually at the trade show for the video is somewhere. I don't know. It's on Smokin Tabacco's pages somewhere. You can actually find it on Instagram. But Kevin actually presented Terrence with a cheesesteak that was made in Las Vegas and gave it to him. And if I remember correctly, Terrence really enjoyed it. But I don't think I heard the feedback from Coop and you and Alex Tavella and all of the Philly judging panel of if it qualified for being legit. Now, I know nothing will ever be legit unless it was bought in Philly. But I know that things come close, so there's that.
It's not 100% true. I will say this. I mean, there are certain look. There are some people who've migrated out of Philly. They know how to make a cheesesteak. A lot of it, you got to get an Amorosa rolled. I mean, there's like some requirements here. But the real thing is, first of all, they use Philly as an adjective. If you see the word Philly cheesesteak, it's not a cheesesteak. That's immediate. That is, anything is out the door. They're using it as an adjective. Why? Because you look past the cheesesteak. If there's anything besides cheese and onions and meat on that bread, it's out the window. You're sitting there looking at like, oh, there's peppers on it. No, that's not cheesesteak. Get out of here. You know. So I didn't see what Kevin presented Terrence with. So I will hold back full criticism, but most likely I'm going to say that it probably didn't fall into the acceptable category.
So I must say, when I hear this conversation amongst the handful of guys that are usually pretty involved, I like to think back to that episode of The Fresh Prince. And if you know, I know you definitely know, when Will moves out to L.A., being from Philadelphia, and he was just like, man, I want like an old school Philly cheesesteak. And Uncle Phil presents him with this gourmet, like sliced, steak on a croissant with like fine cheese, and he gives it to him, and he was like, Uncle Phil, that is not a cheesesteak. And he was like, where's the grease on the bag? I mean, and I just think of that too. It's just like, I just think of like Coop giving someone a cheesesteak, being like, look, the grease is on the bag. Look at that. It's legit.
Oh, I mean, it's 100% legit. Right below where I grew up, there was a little place. It was called Acropolis Pizza. I mean, it was a little Greek pizza place, but it was amazing in the sense that their cheesesteaks were phenomenal. But my God, the grease! Like you could see this, and you're just sitting there and you're looking, you're like, this is not healthy in the slice, but goddamn, is it delicious? You know, it was their pizza. You could literally like it would eat through the grease would eat through the wax paper and start eating through the cardboard box. Like it was that bad. It was a Simpsons reference in one of the episodes. They used it as like a test if the food was good. They would take whatever they were eating and they would just rub it on on paper. If you could see through it, that's how you know it was acceptable. You know, this was something it was fatty enough to eat. So that's how I live my life. You know,
as you should.
Live hard.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. And one of the things that I don't know if being from Philly you would know this, but I mean, Coop also has ties to New York, so all the New York people get on my ass about this now, thanks to him. I went to a Junior's cheesecake at Foxwoods Casino. I did not know about Junior's at all. I never heard about it. And Nicole and I were looking for breakfast one day, and I go, oh, there's a place that does some decent breakfast at Foxwoods. Let's head over there. Oh, okay, cool. We went over there, and I had the breakfast, and I posted about it, and then I left. And then Coop goes, but did you get the cheesecake? And I go, no, I had breakfast. And I've never heard the end of it. He's like, oh, you went to Junior's, and you didn't get the cheesecake? Oh, my God, you're going to hell. It's like, I didn't know about it. But apparently, there's this delicacy called Junior's cheesecake that I guess all my New York peeps will know about. And even Barry Stein, who has had my back several times, is like, yeah, no, you fucked up. I mean, you should have went and got the cheesecake. So, one of these days, that's why I need the moral of all of this is I need this Costco thing to be a win for me because I need to get back at the ultimate food critic and finally just have some positive satisfaction. I don't know.
I think you will come away with a win here. I think he will begrudgingly accept the value proposition. Coop he understands. Look, he factors in the cost. He factors in things. So he's gonna weigh it. I think you'll walk away with a win. I'm back in your play here. You should be fine.
Yeah. So that's the end of that long whole saga. But I wanted to make sure you were filled in so you knew what I had at stake here. I've been pushed around, as have many people, and we've never been able to pull off a win against William. So I'm hoping that I get that. I don't know. I need that. Anyway, you've been on here for a while, and we've talked about all sorts of things. We talked about all of your new products. We talked about food. We talked about Mitchell and all of his fine traits that he has. He's such a look at him. He's Coop calls him the boy wonder.
It's you and John McTavish. This is a Canadian thing. You guys both have the Dorian Gray syndrome. I've known John for years, and I mean back to my Reddit days. He doesn't age. I don't know what it is about you Canadians, you vampires. I'm just saying. Not sure what it is.
You know why they don't have a lot of sun up there? They spend a lot more time in the dark.
I was gonna say
it's yeah.
I live in a place with some of the most amount of rain in the world. Probably top 5.
It's like Edward Cullen. Vampire. That sun damage doesn't get him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
100%.
Oh
man. But no, it's been great tonight, Joe, and I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, this wasn't really planned. I had a show planned. Jose was actually supposed to be here, and we were really excited to talk to Jose. It's been a while since the professor's been on the show, and there's always so much to ask him and talk about, and with all of his knowledge and experience, it's a great time. But unfortunately, Jose couldn't be here tonight. Something came up at the last minute, kind of a family thing. So he asked me if he could reschedule, which of course I said that's fine. So Joe, first of all, I just want to thank you for being able to kind of jump in here last minute.
Anytime, man. Look, your family. I've known you for years. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys about our new products. I'm just guessing. Did you go like as soon after Jose? Unfortunately had to cancel. Did you go to your okay? I need to go to my next Joe down the list. Was it the Joes that we were kind of going for? It
was a Joe night.
Jay, yeah, exactly. So we're just all right. I'll replace Jose with a Joe. It's about the same. Just similar enough. We're close enough.
I'll be honest with you. To be fair, I can't leave this guy out. I actually went to the group. We have a team group chat, and I said, guys, we need somebody who can replace Jose this week. I gotta figure this out. And Mitchell listed off several names, and the first name on that list was Joe Grow. And I said, great idea. I'm going to call Joe. And sure enough, here you are, and we made it happen. So actually,
Mitchell, you're awesome.
we really deserve to give Mitchell the
I knew
credit
he'd
for this
pull
one.
through. That's why.
All right, Mitchell's going to get a care package. Got it.
I have to be, and I have it in text if anyone ever doubts me. He did say, he's like, what about Joe Grow? It's so on and so on and so on, but you were the first name, which means you were the most important name. So, and on his list. So, I just want to say thanks to you, both of you, for making this happen. This was great. But no, I'm glad you could be here. Like I said, you've had a lot going on. It's your first time since you coming to QI, so it's great to catch up with you there. But it's also great to talk about everything you've had going on with QI, all of your new products, talk about them. There have been some awesome products, especially this Pistola, which I fucking love. I love this lighter now. Thank you again. I'm just glad we were able to highlight it. So, and the
Don't
other
forget
thing.
the giveaway.
Don't forget about the giveaway. Joe, if you could please, one more time, just show us that beautiful humidor and remind everybody what is at stake tonight.
Unfortunately, it's a little dark here.
That's
It's
okay. We
getting
can
a little
actually still
dark
see it
out.
pretty good.
So this beautiful Humidor Supreme Aria Humidor, angular humidor, holds about 40 to 80 cigars. This is beautiful with the laser engraving tobacco leaves on there. The Sure Seal technology. This is one of the most beautiful humidors that I've seen. That's something that it's just eye-catching. It draws you in. So that's something that you have an opportunity to win. It's a $300 value, guys. So get those comments in. Drop them below. Your favorite QI product, Xikar, Palio, Humidor Supreme, whatever you got. Drop it in the chat with the hashtag Xikar Nation because we want to support our group, Xikar Nation. Follow us on Facebook. Get in the group. I'm going to have some more giveaways going soon. A lot of news, a lot of new products. So that's going to be a great opportunity for you guys to win something tonight.
And thank you so much for having that for us, Joe. I really appreciate it. And for those who want to see Joe and I together at PCA 2023, if you head over to SmokingTobacco.com or our YouTube channel, you can find our coverage of PCA 2023, brought to you by Drew Estate, coincidentally enough. But you can see our interview with Joe in the QI booth, looking at these products firsthand. Joe did such a great job. You're a great model, too. I mean, just the way you sell it and you hold it and you do the whole thing.
I don't know about that, but we won't go that far. But I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. My ego feels a little good right now, so I'll say thank you.
I want you to end this show on a high note. I want you to go home and be like, yeah, I killed it. But no, you guys can check that out too, as well as all the other interviews we did. So thank you very much. Drop the comments in the comment section, whatever the platform is. We'll take them all. And we'll run it to the end of the week. Maybe, I don't know, maybe until like the weekend, maybe like Saturday or so. And then we'll pick a winner, and I'll let Joe know, and he'll send that out to you. So don't miss out. It's a great opportunity to win something awesome, great quality product, something that I'm sure someone could definitely use and probably fill very quickly. The way cigars are going these days, people are buying them up like hotcakes. It's insane. It's the other thing. You went to some of these booths at the show, and they're fucking slammed, man. I'm like, damn, people are buying. And like, you just, you ask people, hey, what are you buying? They're like, oh, I bought this and I bought this and I bought this. And they go, oh, did you go to that booth? And it's like, man, it's good to see people out there really doing some business at the trade show, which is what you want to see.
Fantastic. And that's it's the industry is thriving. Yeah, we're in the middle of the economic. It's been a rough year for a lot of people out there, but you know what? We're all still smoking cigars. We need that moment of relaxation.
Yep.
And that's a great opportunity for them to have products that fit that. So it's fantastic.
Absolutely. So anyway, that's our show for tonight, guys. I appreciate everyone stopping by. I appreciate everyone watching. Don't forget to drop those Xikar Nation hashtags. Enter for a chance to win that Humidor Supreme Humidor from Quality Importers and from Joe Grow. We will see you next week with Nick Perdomo, and we will be smoking. Mitchell, you have one with you, right? We will be smoking the Perdomo 30th, which
Got
is
it.
not out
I
yet.
think I have the sun grown.
You have the sun grown. I think I have the Connecticut, and I think maybe Kevin has a Maduro. But so we will be smoking the 30th anniversary with Nick Perdomo next Wednesday night. So don't miss that show. It's going to be a great time. Those cigars aren't even out yet. We're going to tell you all about them. We're going to tell you how they are. Nick will talk to you about them, as you know. And hopefully we can talk to Nick about some other stuff that's been going on too. But it's going to be a good one. And then Spare Notes will return that Saturday night. So not this weekend, but next weekend, the next episode of Spare Notes. And Coop should be back, and it should be myself, Coop, and Kevin holding down the fort with Spare Notes as we continue our PCA post-party, post-game, whatever you want to call it, show. There's still a lot more to talk about. He wasn't with us this past weekend, so it'd be great to get Coop's thoughts on a lot of things. And I also look forward to his review of the Costco pizza. So I don't know. Hopefully that still goes as according to plan. I'm very excited for that. I hope I get the win. If not, I'll just keep on trudging along. But that's it, guys. So we'll see you next week. Take care.